I'm student meteorologist Colby Pope. We have a winter storm event that's going to be occurring next weekend, the weekend of the 17th and 18th of December. It's going to build across the central plains and possibly southern plains and move into the eastern seaboard portion of the United States, including the northeast. So I want to just, give you a little disclaimer real quick. The latest GFS model does have this going a lot further north than what the data I'm about to show you. That's what happens. These models run and then they change. They can change a lot, especially 7 days out. They can change a lot, and it will change a lot of the data. However, there's going to be a lot of places here in my presentation that right now they're not even predicting snow or any type of wintry precipitation, especially back in Oklahoma. However, that model, the GFS, gets flexible, really flexible, even a week out. So this could be right back on. Right now, it's the winter storm's off, even though I'm about to show you it's on, if that makes sense. But we could be back on by the time we get closer to the event itself. So again, I want to give you the disclaimer, hey, it's the GFS, folks, okay? That's like betting on 00 every time at the roulette board. Probably not the greatest decision, but when we get to about 24 to 48 hours, especially when we start dealing with totals of like snowfall or ice or sleet, those will get more confident. We know something's going to occur. We know that there'll be a large system moving across the United States. It's just where is kind of the real question, and we'll be able to put that really together next couple of days. So no need to panic or anything like that. Thank you to Pivotal Weather. I used a lot of their model data reservoir. And again, the best means is, hey, just watch your local news affiliate or your National Weather Service office. So let me give you a quick little tutorial about Wonderful Zulu, Greenwich Mean Time, whatever you want to call it, okay? And they are actually 5 or 6 hours ahead of us, depending on where you're at, okay? They're 5 hours ahead of the Eastern time zone. They are 6 hours ahead of the Central time zone. So here, this is the GFS prediction for Saturday, December 17th at noon if you're out in the Central Standard Time, or 1 p.m. if you're in Eastern. So you can see this transition changeover occurring right along the I-44 corridor. We have a little bit of sleet to the north and then snow back behind, a quasi-pseudo-low here in southwestern Colorado, and the actual low, the center of circulation itself, is anchored in the Great Lakes region. So let's go approximately 6 hours into the future. Now we're at 6 p.m. on Saturday, December 17th, or 7 p.m. in the East Coast, and you can see we still have this kind of pseudo-quasi-low over southwestern Colorado. The main center of circulation has moved a little bit more into southern Canada out of that Great Lakes area. And now you can see some different colors, and that's really interesting because we have right along 44 from looking like St. Louis and then over into Springfield, Illinois, down through Rolla and into Springfield, Missouri. You can see this area band of freezing rains, and that's really concerning. And then sleet back behind it, widespread from eastern Kansas across the central portions of Missouri. This would include St. Louis. St. Louis is kind of right there on that freezing line as well, and then back toward the Chicago area, all snow back behind. So let's go 6 hours into the future. Now we're into Sunday, December 18th, and we have our pseudo-quasi-low setting in southwestern Colorado, an actual area of high pressure in the northern central plains, and this is coming out of Canada. It's going to usher in a lot of the cold Arctic air that you will be feeling during and after this storm in the central part of the United States especially. And then, of course, our main area of localized low pressure here, it's sitting here in southeastern portions of Canada. Hasn't moved out over Newfoundland and Labrador yet, but it's on its way. So again, we can see the colors is the big story here. Okay, we start with the most concerning color is this red. This is freezing rain. So you can see from Indianapolis down through Illinois and then into, looks like about the Cape Girardeau area. And that's really concerning there in Missouri. A transition to sleet has occurred St. Louis back into Springfield, Illinois. And then the sleet also goes all the way down into the Wichita Falls area of Texas. So Wichita Falls through Lawton, Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, and then into Tulsa. So sleet definitely will be the primary factor here at midnight of Sunday. But again, you see how close all these are really packed in here tightly together. So you can really have a changeover occur in just a little bit of time. It's all going to depend on those temperatures and whether they're above or below freezing, or also up in the atmosphere right above the surface if it's cold or if it's warm, depending on how that precipitation is going to fall. So now we progress another 6 hours, and this is Sunday, December 18th, of course. A reminder here, 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., depending what time zone you're in. So maybe you're getting ready to go to church. Definitely going to be an interesting commute. I'd expect some probably some cancellations across Indiana and Illinois and into Missouri, because look at this. We have sleet now in Indianapolis, and still that little band, even into Ohio. Looks like around Columbus, some freezing rain. And then Springfield, Illinois, looks like a transition from sleet to snow occurring there. And then the sleet to snow transition underway as well for northern and central Missouri. A little bit of sleet holding out for places like Rolla, St. Louis, and southern Missouri itself. In northeastern Oklahoma, we start to see a transition from sleet to officially snow. And then snow dominant, of course, across southeastern Kansas. And then the rain still prevalent over Arkansas, northeastern Texas, northern Louisiana, so they're getting a lot of rain there. Notice too, our next system is now in the Pacific Northwest. So now we go to your lunch hour on Sunday, December 18th, and you can see now that precipitation is starting to make its way east of Oklahoma, Kansas, and Nebraska. It's even starting to taper off across Missouri. You can see our low is really anchored now off the coast of Canada, as it's moving toward Labrador Island, I believe, Newfoundland, Labrador, out that way. And we have a very defined low now that's moving into the Pacific Northwest, so right off the coast there is Seattle, that centralized low. And then in between we have an area of high pressure that's actually bringing in, high pressure approximately right there, but it's bringing in a lot of this cold Arctic air out of Canada back behind it. And again, we notice the different colors here. That's the story here. And of course, snow tapering off across Missouri. North of Springfield, Illinois, definitely snow there. And then Indianapolis, still kind of interesting there. It looks like a sleet and freezing rain mixture. Same thing happening across Ohio as well. And then everywhere else rain. And then you even see these yellows. And that's really strong amounts of rain. So across northern Mississippi and across the portions of Tennessee there. It's going to be interesting to see that. So again, you know, this will start to taper off. The system will start to move east of Oklahoma at this time. This puts it around the noontime hour, but that's 24 hours of some sort of wintry precipitation occurring across the Central Plains. It'll be interesting to see how those totals come out. So these are the projected snowfall totals, and you can see, again, these are just projected models here. Look how close these are. So we have about an inch, traced an inch here across the gray. So really the I-44 corridor is going to be really a dividing line by this model. And you can see how quickly it goes to 3 to 6 inches here across central Oklahoma and even western Oklahoma. And then all the way up to as much as possible as 10 inches. Going to be widespread 6 to 10 inches across central Kansas, Kansas City, northern portions of Missouri, and then the same thing occurring in Illinois there, higher snow amounts for them as well. Freezing rain, very important to look at this freezing rain model. With this model, again, this is not the most recent model, so that will definitely, these amounts will definitely be changing, and they'll continue to change right up into the event, and we'll get more confidence as events will start to coincide and be a little more in agreement. But this showing about an inch of ice here across Indiana, Illinois, and Missouri, that's really bad. You'll start to see widespread power outages with that. And then back here into northwestern Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, upwards of 1/4 of an inch, but right at 1/4 inch you'll start to see some sort of sporadic power outages, and then even possibly across the Highway 412 corridor, Woodward to Enid, looking like maybe some possibility of some light freezing rain there, Wichita Falls, and then around the Amarillo area as well. Never good to have any sort of freezing rain, but definitely looking like a big pickup in accumulation there across Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, and Ohio. Hopefully that does change. I would not be disappointed at all for that model to, I wouldn't be disappointed to be wrong in this case. And then this is a neat slide to look at, the total water available. Always a good rule of thumb: for every inch of liquid precipitation that falls or that's in the atmosphere, you could have 10 inches of snow. So you can see here, even in places like Tulsa where you have the blue, definitely a half to maybe as much as 8/10 of an inch. So it's important to remember that all that won't fall as snow, but the potential is there for there to definitely be 3 to 4 inches of snow would be possible, with maybe an inch of sleet on top of that, or actually it'd be below that, sorry, below that, and then maybe even a little bit of freezing rain as well. So as we have those changeovers occur, it depends on when those times change and when we have those changeovers occur. So again, I want to thank Pivotal Weather for their models. I've doctored up these graphics a little bit with my own personal lines and such, and then the most important thing is these models have changed and moved the storm a little further north, and even places around here in the Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas not even going to be getting any wintry precipitation with the latest model. However, these models change back and forth, they fluctuate. I had just already put this together, so I definitely wanted to bring it to your attention. But thank you for watching, and I'll try to keep you updated, especially as I'm going to be heading west into these areas during this time frame to visit friends and family for the holidays. So have a great holiday, Merry Christmas, and I'll try to keep you advised here on this this setup. It's going to be really interesting. So hopefully we get some wintry precipitation, but hopefully we can all stay safe in doing so.